Nice. Smart countdown, Mike. Smart 3,
What?
2, and then...
You don't say the one.
No, that's why I'm saying it
You
was a
don't
smart
say the
countdown.
one.
That's why I'm saying it was a smart countdown. You're privy.
You don't say the one.
We might be live for real now. I guess we were live not. I guess we were live for real a minute ago, and now are intentionally live for real. Hello, everyone. Assuming you can hear me right now. My name is Scott, and this is sort of, as the name of this indicates, this is kind of a test where if you've watched this channel before, we're in a new space right now, out of my little apartment and into the basement of a different condo, I guess, a basement of an upgraded unit, an upgraded place. Let's start this one over. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Scott. We've been setting this up for a little bit. It's been a while since I've done any live shows, especially with a group. I'm not by myself today. For the last year, obviously, if you've watched my channel and been living in the world of planet Earth, you'll know that there's been stuff going on. And so this is the first group stream that we've done in a while. I'm not by myself, though maybe you can only see me right now. We've got James with us today, who I don't have a program monitor. It's all a work in progress. Yeah. I'm assuming James is on camera right now.
Hello.
He is now.
He is now.
Hello.
All right. There's James over here, and the person doing all the work, just off to my right, off camera, is my boy Mike, my main man Mike, who has a microphone that might be able to say something.
Yeah, I'm talking, and I think you can hear me. So
This is all a test. And we figure if we're going to do a test, if we're going to go live and see if our streaming capabilities are working, if our equipment is playing right, we might as well also play a game, because that's what this channel's about. It's about playing games and talking about games and doing game stuff. And so we've got set up, if you look at the board or table that we have here, we've got PAX Renaissance 2nd edition set up. Mike, by the way, that was a cue to switch to the top down.
I got the cue.
You got the cue. You're on point.
We're all a little rusty, but
this is the game setup. PAX Renaissance 2nd edition. We're setting up for 2 players today. Shouldn't be too long of a game. Should only take, I guess, an hour, maybe less. We haven't played this in a minute, Jimmy. We used to play this a decent amount. We played more than a handful of 2-player games. We played some 3 and 4-player games. I feel like this game is best at 2 and 3 players. I think 4 players, you end up in a funny spot where by the time it gets back to your turn, any sort of plans you've tried to set forth have been undone by the people that have gone after you, and it ends up being a little too chaotic. For my tastes, 2 and 3 players is sort of the ideal point for this game. This is the 2nd edition of the game. It just came out this year, 2021. Ion Game Design was kind enough to send me a copy. And so this will be the first time I am really playing this. I've done some multi-handed solitaire games of it, just to kind of see how the rule changes have factored in how the game looks, how it feels. It's had an upgrade visually. It looks a lot nicer, I think, at least in some ways. I've heard tell that some of the graphical design choices impede gameplay a little bit. Namely, some of the icons are a little small or are a little hard to decipher from a distance. I'm going to be looking at the board upside down, and so I guess I will have the first-hand experience on if those are hard to figure out with the new design. But, why don't I give a brief overview on how you play the game, and then we can go ahead and play the game. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay, so this is PAX Renaissance. Like I said, this is the 2nd edition of the game. The original was for a lot of people like I don't want to say holy grail game because it was never insanely hard to find, but it had a relatively limited release in like 2015, 2016, I think it was, and it ended up being pretty darn expensive on the aftermarket, especially when you factor in the expansion. There are 2 expansions to the original edition. There's it's like 59 card expansion. It calls it a 60 card expansion, but one of the cards is like the rules, and so it's a 59 card expansion. Let's be honest. And then there's a Board Game Geek expansion that has 5 cards. Which itself is maybe the most expensive per card release of all time. It's 5 cards and it costs $5 plus shipping to buy. So it comes to more than $1 per card, which is per card a lot. If I was at the grocery store and I'm looking at the per ounce cost of items, that's the one I would pass up on because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But This second edition includes the expansion, the 59 card expansion. It includes the Board Game Geek expansion. It also includes a handful of new cards. I think there are like a dozen new cards. Because, Jimmy, what this game needed was more card variety, right?
That actually could be true. I remember in the original, it was really hard to do the globalization victory because there weren't that many of the discovery prestige. But I'm looking at two right on the board.
There are two right in front of you, yeah. And they've kind of marked all these cards in a way that you can tell if they were from the expansion in the original or if they are new. If you look on like the bottom here, if it ends with like an X, I think it means it's from the expansion.
Yeah. Both of these are expansion cards.
So yes, the expansion certainly added more globalization. For those of you who have not played this game, I'm not going to be giving a full comprehensive teach of it right now. I'll just give you an overview, and as we play, we'll be chatting about kind of why we're doing things or how certain things work. But there are plenty of videos out there about how to play Pax Renaissance that are super comprehensive. If you want to learn how to play the game. This will not be necessarily a way to learn how to play this game. I mean, at least not without looking at the rulebook. Maybe you can watch this and get an idea of how it works, and that'll help you play it. So why don't we go ahead with that overview? Yes, Mike.
One quick thing. I got somebody mentioned that the overhead is flipped.
It's flipped.
It is.
Oh, I can fix that.
It is mirrored here.
If we do this, zoop, that'll fix it. I'm 90% sure. I've had that issue with this camera before. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
It is flipped. It is correct now.
It is correct. Okay, thank you, whoever called that out.
Pizen said it was flipped.
Thank you, my friend.
And I didn't notice it, so that was good. Thank you.
Okay, again, this is all a test. This is you remember you'd go into school and they'd like start blaring like sirens and you'd run into the basement and like duck and cover and they'd say like this was the drill.
I don't remember that.
And then like sometimes where like in movies there's like there's a nuclear bomb coming and there's like a big this is not a test. There is really a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
This is this is the first one where it's a school drill about a tornado. It is a test. This is not a nuclear attack, a fictional nuclear attack in a film where they say this is not a test.
Scott, do you want to show off our new special cam that we're trying out today?
Oh, right. So we do have a new camera we're testing out. You guys can let me know if this looks stupid as heck or if it works out. But we've got a little handheld camera here that's going to be able to pop in on parts of the board. I know it's upside down right now because that's my position. But Jimmy, if you want to hold it here, We can take a look at stuff. We can get you zoom in sections on cards.
Check
look at
out
that.
these cards. French
they're
Pirates.
seeing it.
Jimmy, I've really wondered what's the deal with the Mary Rose. What is going on with the Mary Rose? There, wow.
Yeah, look
now
at that.
everyone at home knows.
Everyone knows.
And I can't see, so I'm left in the dark. But
you can watch your own stream a little bit later.
I'll have to watch this later because it's going to be video on demand later on tonight.
It's a little choppy, but
I'm also just like grabbing it by one of the legs.
I think it's just because we're streaming while doing it.
It's all a test.
But it looks good. It
great.
still looked pretty good.
Completely professional.
Yeah.
So that'll be an option if we ever have like cards in our hand that you need to see, or if we want to look at something silly. Anyway, I've said several times now I'm going to give an overview of this game. So let's give an overview of this game. So this is Pax Renaissance. This is a game about sort of players controlling bankers, attempting to push and pull various nations and significant individuals of history in the direction they want them to go in. You win the game by completing one of these 4 victory conditions. And they each have sort of a different requirement of you need certain types of cards in your tableau. You'll buy cards and put them into your little zone. You'll make little tableaus of cards, or they want the map to be in a certain way. There are 4 of them. They're pretty varied, and some are easier to do than others. You can't, however, do any of them until special cards in these decks called comets come out. Once a comet is into the marketplace here, which are these lines of cards, if a player buys a comet, they activate one of these victory conditions, and then anyone, once they satisfy the condition of the card, can take a victory action, which is arguably the most powerful action in the game, because if you take it, you win. You take the victory action, the victory action matching one of these conditions. If you meet the requirement, you win the game. So succinctly, that is what we're trying to do. Set up the game in such a way where we can claim one of these victory conditions at the right time. Of course, there's more to it than that. We get 2 actions per turn. And in the beginning, the actions are largely going to be buying cards out here and then playing them into our tableaus. I know you guys can't really see our tableaus right now, they're kind of focused on the board, but we can use that handy dandy choppy kill cam to show tableaus when it's important. The cards themselves will grant us some passive abilities on occasion, but they'll also grant us actions, new actions we can take beyond the purchase or play action. The cards are split into East and West, and when we take actions with these cards, we'll actually take usually groups of actions. So you want to set up like almost like an engine. You want to set up like a chunk of cards that when you flip the switch to perform actions on that side of your tableau, it's going to perform a bunch of actions that will be beneficial when chained together. There's a lot going on in this game, and so I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty. Like I said, this is just going to be a broad overview. Again, trying to complete these victory conditions while buying and playing these cards. The map in the middle here will also change. There are units on it. And the units represent different religious affiliations as well as different types of attacking and defending units. They're all chess pieces or represented by chess pieces. You have knights, which are the most offensive pieces. They can kind of go into other areas to attack them. There are rooks, which are more defensive. They are not really as mobile as knights, but they'll defend against attackers. There are concessions, which are these little colored pawns in between these countries. Those are the pieces that belong to James and myself. James is the purple player, Jacques Cure, I think is maybe how you say that. And I am Bartolomeo Marchioni, which is this green color. Those represent concessions that we have that'll make us money, as well as pawns or serfs if they are placed into other areas, like sort of peasants or less, I guess, knightly individuals. There are also all of these little cards up here, which represent the kings of these different locations, and we will be collecting those as the game goes on. I think that is all I'm going to say right now for my rambling overview of this game. Why don't we go ahead and start playing, and we can kind of talk about what we're doing while we're doing it. We determined at random the start player of this game, and it is Jimmy. So, James, you will be taking the first action of this game, the first two actions, in fact.
That's right.
So why don't you go ahead and take one, and why don't you say what you're doing, too?
All right. So I'm going to... I've been looking at a few options here, but I think what I'm going to do is buy the Safavids card right here. I want to buy it because it gives me some pretty powerful actions here in the east when I put it into my tableau.
You can go ahead and get a shot at that if you want.
I guess I could just do this. So I'm going to get the Safavids card. It gives me access to the Behead action, which can kill off another card. An Inquisitor card, which will let me put a Bishop on the map, which can let me block some of the other actions here. I'm not going to actually play it right now. I'll just put it into my hand.
Sure.
And then I'm going to... I'm going to grab this Queen card here, City Hatun of Dulkadir, and that'll be something that lets me marry one of the...
So there she is. So she has, all the cards, or not all of them, but many of them, have these little scrolls on the bottom. These are called one-shots. The only time you get to do those is when you play the card into your tableau. You got to decide if you're going to do that or not. And if you don't do it, you can never do it again.
Yep. So I'm going to buy these two cards, but not play either of them.
Yep.
Those are my two actions.
Purchase and purchase.
And then I refresh the market.
Now, Mike, you said you had never played Pax Renaissance, is that right?
I don't know.
Cool, great.
This doesn't seem familiar, so I'm going to say no.
Gonna say no. Okay.
But I might have, because the editions, I know they change very, over time. Some of these games have looked different, so I don't know if the look of the version I played was significantly different enough that maybe I did play it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we played like Pax Pamir a bunch. We played Pax Transhumanity a few times.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So you picked up, and we're playing with. So I know sometimes we play this game with our hands in the open, but we have secret hands here. I believe officially the game says you should have secret hands, but maybe it says optionally you can play with open. Well. That could be all right. Okay, so I'm going to spend 3 coins. 1, 2, 3. Whenever you buy a card from the market, for those that are unfamiliar with Pax, you pay the coins to the cards to the left of the one you're purchasing. Put 1 on each in that row. So I'm purchasing the Handsome, who I believe is related to Vlad the Impaler?
Yep.
Yeah, Radu of Dracul. So I'm purchasing him. Here he is. Here's my boy, the Handsome. He's a gorgeous man. Beautifully, give that guy a big old kiss on the cheek. And he's got some cool stuff. Namely, what I'm looking at right now is his Jihad ability. Jihad is a religious war, and it can only be done if there are heretics in the target location. Heretic meaning a token of a different color. So I am going to purchase him, and James, you purchased 2 cards. I'm going to purchase and play a card. I'm playing the Handsome into my tableau, and when a card gets put to my tableau, I'm just going to put it in there just like that. And he is now part of my East tableau. I will opt to do the Jihad ability, which is going to put 2 Islamic Knights into play in Hungary up here. So every card is a location. This guy's in Hungary. Okay, so that's where that's going. James is doing that for me right now. So we're going to drop these 2 knights here into Hungary, and then there's going to be a bit of a fight, a bit of a kerfuffle. These 2 knights are going to attack the heretic, which is this gold token. All these gold pieces are Christians or Catholics, and I forget which it represents. And so
Catholics. Reformation shows up later.
You're right. The Reformation shows up later. So you're right. They'd be Catholics. So these 2 Islamic Knights are going to attack this Catholic Knight. When combat happens, you are basically trading 1 for 1. So this guy is going to kill this one, goes back into the pool, and then in exchange, this one dies. So that leaves this fella hanging out here. If during one of these attacks there are any surviving attackers, it's going to cause what's called a regime change. And so I'm going to collect, in this case, the King of Hungary, and he now becomes part of my tableau of units. So he'll give me some extra options. Additionally, because this is a religious war, this was the Jihad one-shot, like I mentioned, this will cause a theocracy shift in that location. So the game comes with about 600 different cards that will change the makeup of the world. And so I am going to go ahead and take the Hungary card that I have in here that has the Islam side on it and put it into play. So now, if you look at the map, Hungary has a card on top of it, and it's changed it a little bit. Really, it's got the same locations for units, but they're different colors. That is going to come into play later on. Right now, it doesn't really make a huge difference, but it's worth noting. So now, that dude's going to hang out there. My Jihad was successful, and I've collected a king for it. When I collect a king, I'm going to place another concession onto the map adjacent to the card that I put down. So next to the Hungary card, I'm going to put a new concession. I'm going to put it right there, in between Byzantium and Hungary. You can put it in any bordering section. And those are my 2 actions. I purchased a card and I played a card, and so I will refresh the market. And James, you can put that next one out.
Great. So there's some stuff on the board that I feel like I want, or in the market that I feel like I want.
Makes sense.
So I'm going to take a trade fair action.
Okay.
And let's see, where does the Eastern Trade Fair start?
The Eastern Trade Fair is going to start in Byzantium.
Yeah.
Up in Tana. And so trade fairs are going to follow these squiggly lines around the map until they get to the arrow at the end. In this case, it's simply going to go from Tana down to Mamluk.
Yeah. So you sort of trace the black line here, and let's see here. May do 1 trade fair per turn, east to west.
Yep.
Put the following from China.
Yep. China is what
China's
I call the bank.
The bank. So you put 1 on the
Yeah,
east.
we're sort of using this last card in the row. This is a card,
Mm-hmm.
and that represents the trade fair. And so in a 1 or 2 player game, you add 1 coin to that. In a 3 or 4 player game, you add 2 coins to that.
All right. And then I'll take 1.
Yep. Because you started the
starting
trade
the
fair,
trade
so you
fair.
collect a coin. It's a way to make money.
And then you draw a line from here, and every concession that it passes through will get a coin, I believe.
That is correct. And
So-
something happens before that as well. You must place a levy.
That's right.
The money raised from this is going to bolster defenses.
And it's of color
your
of my choice,
It's
right?
the color of your choice. So I mentioned before how the printed units on here, the color doesn't really matter. The actual icon doesn't matter in most circumstances. This is a circumstance where it does matter. So James now will either place a red rook, that's the Reformation, or a golden knight, which is for Catholicism.
Okay. So let's get some Reformation out on the board. Let's
All
throw.
right, Trebizond.
Let's get some info out there. So you took 1 for your.
I did take
concession?
1, yes.
Okay.
So it passed through this concession I had
All right.
just placed, and I
Then
collected 1 coin for it.
I'll go here to the Ottoman, and I'll put.
This actually gets one
yeah,
first.
Yeah. Look at that.
Buddha gets 1 first in Hungary.
Can I request a close-up of this area of the map?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just for my own edification.
You're lost.
Because I literally can't see it. So
Okay. Yeah. So we've got. Let me see if I can handle this. So we've got this area here. Started up over here, and then it followed the black line going this way, and it's going to end over there. And so James placed this rook, this knight, and now he's going to place another reformist rook. And the reason he's placing those is because that is where the black line crosses into.
Yeah.
Any location, not the icon it crosses into, just the card it crosses into.
And then the black line will cross my concession. So
Yep.
I'll also take 1 from the trade fair.
Yep. And then it goes into the last location,
And then
which
it
is
goes
going to
into the
get
last
a
location.
golden rook in Cyprus.
The only thing it can take, unless
Yep.
we had changed. These
Yeah.
can move, and then
Yep.
I could take a Muslim.
Exactly.
appreciate it.
And then I'm going to actually purchase a card again. I'm going to buy the Nomads of Slumkin,
Sure.
which will let me do some things at a future turn. And I collect a florin from that because there was 1 on the card.
Correct. If you'll notice, we're putting cards onto, or florins rather, coins are called florins, onto the cards in the market. This actually needs to flip too.
Oh, it
because
does.
you did the trade fair. So this, pull that card out,
Mhm.
that goes away. This is actually going to take its place, bringing money with it. And then
That's right.
everything
That's how
slides
you.
down.
That's another way to.
Easy to
sort of
forget.
cycle the
Also,
deck.
I've certainly
Yes.
played this game when I'm really
Like,
into it,
oh,
and I
right,
forget.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to cycle the trade fair out.
Yeah.
So this is now gone, which we had seen this card before.
Mhm.
We had seen, it's my boy Kizelbash, who's a pretty good card,
Yeah.
a pretty darn good card. So actually knowing that he's out of the game definitely changes some stuff.
Yep.
Because the East is a little more protected now. Okay, so that's your turn.
Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, now I will take my turn if you don't
Just
mind.
a couple of comments.
course.
Sacrifice the Constantinople Knight, bruh. Also, I really appreciate the stream. So yeah,
you know,
thanks,
when
guys.
you do a jihad, you can pull in troops from.
Not quite. When you do a campaign, you pull in troops. I think. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Believer rooks adjacent, or
You're right.
believer
Believers
knights
adjacent. You're right. Believers adjacent. You're right. I thought that's right. Campaigns take knights from the card. Religious wars come from outside. You're right.
Mhm.
You got me.
Yeah, or the inside.
That's right. You caught me with my pants over my ankles.
That's right.
Also, the hand cam is going over really well.
Great. We like the hand cam.
People are loving it.
My
Good.
phone hates it. My phone is giving me a "this is getting kind of warm" warning. Actually,
Uh-oh.
it went away. Actually, went away.
Okay.
But
Our
something to tweak. Something to worry about.
we're calling it the kill cam.
That's only because we first used a close-up cam in a Sea Evil stream like 2
Right.
years ago, and the name stuck.
So now it's always the kill
Yeah.
cam.
We need a graphic. We need a graphic on that screen that just flashes kill cam.
I'm actually Googling the kill graphic for Sea Evil right now to try and grab it. So.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so it's my turn. Let's see what we're going to do. I've been building up a bit of a... I've got a strong Hungarian influence right now. Maybe I could pick up... So it's Imperial Victory increases... What is that? Venice can hold 2. Okay, Venice can hold extra knights with that dude. That'll plop down a pirate by England. Big choices here. There are no queens out. Queens are a good way to collect kings. I don't have a lot of money right now either. So maybe what I will do... is collect money right now. So I'm going to just pick up... actually, that won't give me any money at all, because it cost me $1. So you know what? I'm just going to do another East Trade Fair. It's going to give you $1, but it's going to give me 2. So I'm doing another East Trade Fair, so this card's going to go away. I'm going to move it now to remind myself. Mm-hmm. The rules might even say you get rid of that right away. I think, to remind yourself that it needs to go away. I'm going to put a coin onto the Trade Fair, but that's sort of unnecessary movement because I'm just going to take it. And then we're going to do the same thing. So we get in Kaffa. We get a knight. We get nothing here. I will collect a coin for my troubles. Passing over my concession. We get a Catholic castle there. James, you may collect a coin. And then we get nothing down in Mamluk. So my first action was a trade fair. That will stay there. It will be collected on the next card.
That's right.
Then, now that I have 2 more bucks, why don't we go ahead and grab French Pirates or the Merry Rose. I think I'm going to go for the Merry Rose. I'm going to spend a coin onto the West Trade Fair, and I'm going to pick up the Merry Rose like I was thinking before. I get the coin on her, and then everything scoots. So yeah, James, if you want to replace those, let's give just a quick kill cam shot here of my current tableau. So I have right now got some money on me. I've got the Handsome. I've got the King of Hungary, and I just picked up this card. So this is going to hook me up with some of that Voyage prestige right there, which is, I think, the rarest prestige. It might be, I think it's called Navigation. I keep saying Voyage. I think it's called Navigation prestige. It is the hardest to find. So I'm going to try to pick it up while I have access to it. And it'll let me do some other stuff too. Perhaps let me pivot a little as the game goes on.
You're all done with your turn?
James, I'm all finished with my turn.
Excellent.
Unless you want me to just take another turn.
No. I will play some cards for the first time.
Wow.
First, I will play the Safavids card, which lets me do the Jihad one-shot. It also lets me put a bishop on. I guess it's on this card, right?
Yes, it
Bishops?
goes onto that card. If you want to give maybe a little shot of the Safavids. I like that the Safavids are very good. I've had much success with them in the past.
So I'm trying to do a cool guy Jihad here. Like all cool guys.
So are you going to do the Jihad?
I am going to do the Jihad. Okay. And it's in Byzantium here.
It's in Byzantium.
So with a Jihad, you target the heretic knights and rooks in a target location. There are 2 heretics. There's Catholics and Reformations. But I can pull in addition to this one knight, I can pull in the knights from adjacent areas. So Hungary has a bunch of Muslim knights, and so does the Ottoman Empire here.
Yep.
So,
you can just wipe these guys out.
Yeah. So I can wipe these guys out, and then which guys do you lose here?
I believe it's your choice.
Yeah. So I'll kill a dude in Hungary and a dude in the Ottoman Empire here.
Kill those boys in Trebizond and Kaffa.
Oh, these go on the...
If you kill them, I don't believe they become repressed.
You just you repress them. Okay. So that's all done, and then I get the Byzantium card here for the regime change. Let's see.
So then it's also
and
going
then
to
it's going to flip to
Byzantium, which again, dig through this set of 1996 Topps trading cards.
the
And,
booster pack.
Yeah, we got a booster pack here. And I pulled the rare Islamic Byzantium. Actually, that's a common.
That's a black border, so that one's worth a lot.
Oh, hell yeah. Where do you, and this knight, I guess it was in Tana, right?
Yep.
So.
And then I will, for my second action, play Sidi Hatun of Dulkadir. She's a queen, so she gets coronation. She can marry someone from Mamluk, Ottoman, or Hungary. Hungary, you took.
Already taken by Mr. Marchioni.
So I will grab this Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror.
It's a good one. And then it goes on top of the queen.
On top of the queen, that's right.
And so put it, just like that. So you can see the stuff on the bottom.
Prestige, but not the...
Yeah.
Okay, and that is my...
Actually, you might be able to put it like, I'm looking at its design, you might be able to put it all the way down so it like lines up.
Might want to kill cam that one.
A cool marriage.
So if you want to kind of show what you just did there in terms of placement on that.
Yeah. So in the first edition, they lined up like a big cross, but in here it sort of fits, this little guy fits neatly on the...
Covers up the stuff you don't need.
Yeah.
Because you did the coronation one shot, you did everything on that queen that you needed to do.
Exactly.
You also, because...
Queens usually don't do much, right?
Because you have... They sometimes do, but you're right.
Yeah.
Usually they don't. You also get 2 concessions.
That's right.
Because you collected 2 Empire cards. So 1 next to Byzantium and 1 next to the Ottomans. And you can place them here, but it costs you money. You'll repress this dude, but it'll cost you a florin.
That seems good. I don't like... Let's see. There's only one victory that has to do with concessions.
There is. It is the globalization.
So I'll put one
Got
here.
one thing. Somebody said you forgot putting concessions for getting empires. I don't know if
we're doing that right now.
That's probably what we're doing right now.
Oh, that's what you're doing now. Okay.
So I'll put
Actually,
one...
Mike, we need to make a note to turn latency on YouTube down, because then comments and live stream are much more in sync.
Oh, got it.
I don't think you do it now, but it's something you do at setup.
Oh, maybe everybody can just wait 30 seconds before they comment the thing.
Yeah, can you guys just relax for like 30 seconds?
I can't actually put this guy anywhere except here.
You can. It doesn't have to be in C borders. Concessions can go on any bordering spot of a card. Not the outsides, but...
Right, but like this, there's no trade route that gets...
That's fine. You won't get money for it.
Sure.
But you can place them there.
I'm going to put this one here. And
Okay,
I'll pay
so you pay a florin. I believe it's a China. I will confirm that. But this then gets repressed to the Byzantium king. Because that's the card you played when you put it down. Or I guess it'll be my turn in a sec, so if you want to confirm if I get the buck or what. Again, been a minute since we played, and because this is the second edition, I want to make sure any rules changes.
There's a few little things that...
Yeah. We got a dog.
Benji's here.
Uh-oh, Benji's here.
I can't let him in, but I am going to go address it.
So maybe just have a shot at the board while you're gone. Okay. So, it is my turn now. Now, James, you are in a better position than me in terms of getting an Islamic victory.
That's true.
Because you have 3 Islamic prestige. I have 1. And right now, Islam is, I believe, the dominant religion. Because there are 3 Islamic theocracies and only 1 other kind of theocracy. So to win with a theocratic victory, which is going to be the holy victory down here, you there's several like kind of check boxes you need to make. You need to have the dominant religion, the supreme religion, I believe is what it's called, which is noted as having the most of its color of units and its theocracies versus all the other religions combined. So in this case, Islam has 3 theocracies. They have this little moon on the location. And there are 1, 2, 3 Islamic pieces in those. So that's 3 for Islam. The only other theocracy on the board right now is the Papal States. And the Catholics have 1 unit there. So it is 3 Islamic units versus 1 Catholic unit. So they have more units on the map. You also need more bishops than the other theocracies. Right now, the only bishop in play which James just placed on the Safavids, is Islamic. So Islam currently is the supreme religion. If a comment card comes up and it's purchased by someone, they win if they now have more Islamic prestige than the other player, which James currently does. He has 2 Islamic prestige. I'm sorry, he has 3 Islamic prestige. I only have 1. So there's no risk right now of me losing with that because the comment cards aren't out. They might be out soon. So I don't need to worry about that immediately, but I should worry about that pretty soon. And what I can do to defend that is I can kill some Islamic units to not make it supreme. I can try to kill the bishop that he has to not make it supreme. I can try to get rid of some of his cards, or I can try to get more Islamic prestige myself. I've got a bunch of options. And so I'll need to consider what is in the market and what I want to do to make this victory happen. So let's see. There's so much voyage prestige out there. I had more concessions. James has way more concessions now. So I'll also maybe want to kill some of those. Hungary could campaign, but that won't really help.
The rules are kind of neat, and they do just say pay in the...
If you look in the back,
yeah.
Does it define pay?
No.
Okay. I think you pay China.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, in the repress section, it says to China.
Okay. There we go. Geez Louise. What should I do here?
Walk us through it, Scott. Let's walk us through your thinking process here.
Oh, I just did.
I was gone for that.
Yeah, you were petting a dog.
You were petting a dog.
That's okay.
Jimmy's just got me behind. I don't want to say I'm behind an 8-ball yet, but I do see the 8-ball kind of rolling towards me. And so I need to make a shift in the current map state or his cards. Because he has more Islamic prestige than me, which is something I was kind of building towards, is Islam dominance. And he also has more concessions than me, which, if you remember, I took that Mary Rose card, which gives me voyage prestige or navigation prestige, that for victory also requires concessions. I can start to make my way over and maybe try to kill something. Gosh. Let's spend some money. If we don't know what to do, spend some money. That's what I always say. And so I am going to spend money on this lady right here. This is the Zionist state. We're going to look at the Zionist state. There she is. So I'm picking her up because she's going to give me a concession. And if I want to switch to a potential Reformation victory, her ability is going to make, perhaps make green pirates benefit the Reformation. Mostly, though, I'm getting her for the concession. So I'm going to pick her up. I have 2 cards in my hand, which is the limit of cards you can have in your hand. And so I will go ahead and play that Zionist state card I just got. I'm not going to do a Reformation in Mamluk. I'm not going to do the one-shot. But I am going to place one of my concessions, and I'm going to put it here to repress this to Mamluk. Loop. And it's going to cost me $1. Trying to even up the concessions a little bit here. And those are my 2 actions. So let's go ahead. I purchased and I played.
Great.
And out comes a comet. Marshall Applewhite, where are you?
Oh, whoops. I forgot to load that in.
Oh, that's no problem.
I'll get it in right now.
So a comet card is up. Let's take a look at a comet card. Let's get the kill cam, because this could kill the game for me.
Okay. 1 second. You're on.
I'm unlocking. All right. Can you see it?
Yep.
Oh, I don't have to unlock my phone to show it. No wonder my phone's getting so hot.
Yeah.
So this is a comet card. It's got a red border. It does it. The design of it looks a lot different. Copernicus and I can't actually read this because my phone has its unlocked screen there. I could, I guess, type it out. Copernicus and the heliocentric revolution. So, as it says in the bottom, when purchased, discard this card and flip an inactive victory condition. So, it is currently in the last slot, so if James wants to purchase it, it's going to cost him a big 5 florins, which he doesn't have.
Cannot afford that right now, but...
The dream for Jimmy right now is to buy that and flip over a card that he has current victory over and then just declare victory. Which is how this game can be a very short game.
But that's also 3 actions, which is sort of the... it's just when purchased.
Yep, you don't have to play that card. You just buy it and it happens.
Scott, with your right hand, can you point up next to your head real quick? No, but like the other way. Point this way. Yeah, he's right there.
My boy.
That's Marshall.
Marshall is trying to fly. Well, he's trying to fly high in what, Haley's Comet, right? Or is it? I can't remember what comet he was flying high on. Not this one though. Here, Marshall Applewhite's here. The comet's going zoom right past him.
Oh no, he didn't get it.
Okay. I don't like that you took that concession away.
So one change from from first edition to second edition is stuff gets repressed onto Empire cards that are not yet controlled by another player. In the first edition, this concession would have just been tossed aside. But in this case, it goes onto that card, even though it benefits no one right now. I gotta think about what I need to do here. That helped, but it did not completely solve my my predicament. There is a lot of voyage, a lot of
there really is
a lot of navigation prestige out there.
All right, I'd like another concession on the board. I don't see a great way to do that.
Yeah, the Flanders Guild is out there, but that costs, again, 5. And if you can afford that, presumably you would just win the game instead.
This will let me put 2 on the board.
True, like. 2 on the Ottomans.
I could just repress yours. But I don't have the money for it quite yet.
Right now. How many people that are watching live right now, or I guess you could also drop it in the comments if you're watching later, how many people have played the first edition of this game and the second edition, and do you have any thoughts on the differences between them or which one you prefer? They do seem pretty similar, but the kind of the graphical changes I maybe am most curious about, what people's thoughts on that is.
I'm going to play this card from my hand, the Nomads of Tlemcen, which lets me do a trade shift.
Ooh la la.
Timbuktu.
You've shifted by just chucking it out of the atmosphere.
Get out of here. And that goes to Tana, right?
It goes to Tana, because that is the only other... It goes to the currently open trade shift. So it goes to Tana, which will repress this knight in Byzantium. So you can go ahead and take that and put it with your boy, not repress.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's yours. Not kind of yours.
Yeah. And then it puts a rook there. Okay. And then I'm going to take the Tableau Ops action.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm actually going to skip most of the actions on here because I can't afford to campaign.
Well, why don't we get a shot of what your tableau looks like?
Okay. Let's do it.
There you go.
So, I've got this all going on. Safavids give me the behead action. You can kill off a card that shares a location in it, but Scott doesn't have any Byzantium cards.
Never been to Byzantium. Don't have any interest in going there.
No interest. It also has the Inquisitor card. I can move the bishop to an adjacent spot in my tableau or to another card. Another card of the same location.
Right, so Byzantium.
But that doesn't really help me because I could just move it to my other Byzantium card. And it would take me a while.
It is worth noting, too, however, that if you want to do anything on the Safavids, which would be behead, you'd have to get rid of that bishop first.
That's right. Yeah, so I actually will move him to my other Byzantium card.
So next time you could do the behead. And the reason for that is because bishops suppress cards. They silence cards, which means they can only take blue actions, which is, in this case, Inquisitor.
That's right, even if it's your own card.
Yep.
Sultan Mehmed II, the Conqueror, as the campaign action, but for the campaign action, you have to pay all the knights that you're using.
Yep.
I don't know that I could win a fight with just that one knight that I have.
Could campaign here.
I guess I could campaign there.
But you already have Byzantium.
Yeah.
So... and it would not flip it over. Actually, one change from first edition to second is that if you campaign against your own empires, it does not flip them to their other side.
But I am going to take the commerce action on this card that I just got, which will let me take a buck from the indicated market row, the east.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and take it off of this other card. I don't want Scott to get any more money. And now I have some extra money, so I can do some campaigning.
How much cash you got?
Yeah.
Super wealthy. Big wealth. Big wealth.
Yeah, zoom in, zoom out. Nice. Good camera work.
Thank you.
You're an expert. A real Deacon's over here. It's the one DP.
Is that the only DP you know?
I know some others probably, but a court of law would have to come in here and force me to
name them.
Yeah, to name them.
All right, that's my go. I played the card, and I did
single op.
Now,
you could have done more ops if you wanted, but you chose not to.
You have to do it in this order, right?
Nope.
No?
Any order you want.
What?
Yep. Any order you want to.
That's wild.
Yep.
Well, let me reconsider this campaign situation here.
So we have a couple of comments while he considers.
Yes,
yeah, I'd love to hear them.
Caller, you're on the line.
What did you do to your metal coins to give them the antique look?
I used, let me get a shot of them here. So, normally the game comes with these yellow discs for its money. The exact same as the first edition of the game, which is, I was commenting before we went live, or maybe it was while we were accidentally live.
It might have been accidentally.
It is interesting they upgraded everything in this game except the coins. They didn't even do punchboard coins. They didn't put a design on these. It's just the same kind of thick plastic discs. As an optional add-on, a separate purchase, you can get these metal coins, which are pretty nice. They're not bad. There's focus. Metal coins, okay? But when you get them, they are very, like, I think I called them like Velveeta cheese yellow.
Yes.
They are like shiny little discs of Velveeta cheese. And I didn't think they looked great. You couldn't see the detail on them.
Are they plastic or metal?
They are metal. These are metal.
How are they yellow like Velveeta cheese if they're metal? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're shiny. They're just like gold, basically.
That's crazy.
So what I did is I took a variety of washes from Citadel, which is the Games Workshop brand paint. I took, the specific washes were Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade, Reichland Flesh Shade, and Seraphim Sepia. And I put one wash per coin on each side, just to give them like a variety of patina. So they all, they have a slight variation on each one, and I just put that wash on them pretty generously. And then after it dried, I put a glossy like varnish on it. I use Pledge Floor Shine. And I put those on each one to kind of seal them in so they didn't chip and so they got some of their shine back. And that was it. I think it took me like probably like 3 evenings, I would say. I put like a TV show on or put a movie on and just work through them. I ticky-tacked them all onto like a painter's like stir sticks. And just went them one at a time. Once they dried, flipped them over, did the other side. And that was it. It's pretty easy work, and I think they look a lot better.
Another question. Never played, or I've only played the first, so I'm super interested in the answer to this question, wondering if I should pick up the second. Another person said, never played Pax Ren, but always kind of eyed it, curious from a distance. How do you feel about Renaissance compares to Premier?
Okay, so the first question, if you have the first edition, should you get the second edition? This is my first multiplayer game of the second edition. That's not true. My first in-person multiplayer game. I've played it on Tabletop Sim twice. Should you get it if you have the first edition? Probably not. Unless you really want the extra cards. So the first edition, like I said before, has this 59 card expansion plus the 5 Board Game Geek cards. And they add a ton of stuff to the game. They add a ton of cards, some new abilities. It's a bunch of stuff. The expansion was pretty limited, and it actually, I think, became the rarer part of that sort of collection. The base game was relatively common, relatively easy to find for a while, though kind of expensive. The expansion, though, was like wild prices, and it never showed up. If you really want the expansion stuff, yeah, maybe the second edition is worth it then. in my opinion, the two games are not different enough, even without the expansion, to justify the like $70-ish this is going to cost. The cards look pretty similar to the first edition. The graphical design is going to be the biggest change, I think. I think they look nicer. Again, pretty similar, but they do look a bit nicer. And there are maybe some usability issues. Like I'm trying to think here while I'm looking at the board, how easily from across it can I see what prestige these things have? Honestly, it can be a little hard, especially I'm seeing here on a card down here that has Catholic prestige. I'm essentially noting that it's a Catholic prestige card because I can't see the icon on it. And it's like it's like the brightest one. And I'm like, okay, I can't see that one very well, so that means it's Catholic. Voyage prestige is also a little tricky to see. It's like too bright. I think there are some usability issues with that. So I think I would say if you don't have Pax Renaissance, buy this version. It's the only new one you can buy. And for the hassle and the cost of tracking down the first edition with the expansion stuff from zero, this is going to be cheaper and easier, and it's 95% the same game. And the usability stuff I don't think is a deal breaker. So yeah, if you have the first edition, I don't know, it depends how valuable the extra cards are to you. If you don't have the first edition, yeah, don't go track down the first edition because this one sucks or something. Just get this one. It's pretty good. The second question, how does Renaissance compare to Pax Premier? Also, James, I'm sorry if I'm talking too much.
I'm choosing not to campaign.
You're not campaigning, so it'll be my turn. Let me just, I guess, answer this question real quick. Renaissance versus Premier, they're very different games. Renaissance is way more complex. Premier has, I would say, there's more reason to be friendly with people in Premier that are sharing allegiance with you. Trying to, like Mike, we were playing Premier recently. It was a 4-player game, and maybe 5. I think it was a 5-player game actually.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah, it was a full capacity game. And Mike, you and I were really pushing for Afghan dominance on that map, and so 2 other players were like kind of fighting with Russian dominance, I think it was. And so there was a lot of like, there was a lot of like, Mike and I are in this together against these other people. I don't get that as much with this. I think that even if like James and I are both going for Islam, if there was someone else here going for, Catholicism, I don't know that would make Jimmy and I friends.
I don't think so.
And so I think that there's a lot more you can do in Renaissance with your tableau as well, because in Premier you get free tableau actions based on what color is currently like the dominant regime. That's not the case here. You get an action, you take one action, and you can take one action on all of your cards if you want. And so you can make really powerful tableaus in this game that can be hard to unseat. In Premier, if someone has a really powerful tableau because they're getting a bunch of free actions due to, let's say, the intelligence regime being dominant, you can play a card that'll switch the dominant regime, and now suddenly they're not getting a bunch of free actions, right? So it's a small change you can do that'll really impact someone else. In this I think rewards building up big engines that can be a little hard to unseat, but not impossible. And so maybe it's not a super clear answer. I think the 2 games are pretty different, and just because you have one doesn't mean you shouldn't have the other. They're the same series. I use that word very loosely, and I think that they offer some different benefits. For one, I think this is a better 2-player game than Premier, but Premier is a better 4 or 5-player game than this is a 4-player game. All right.
I'm gonna run to the restroom, but it's on overhead.
Great, thank you, Mike. Okay, anyway, I was talking so much as well because I wanted to distract myself from my unenviable position right now, where James has more concessions than me. You have the equal amount.
Yeah, we have equal
amount, and you've got more Islamic prestige. And there's a comet, so I'm like disincentivized from buying cards in the Eastern row right now until I can get myself in a stronger position. So let me see. There is. I know I just said don't buy from the Eastern row, but I could buy that.
That's a good card.
It is, and I don't have the cash, but I can get the cash. I swear I'm good for it. Who's that? What was that? I can't read that upside down.
Thoshian alum.
Okay. Sheehan alum. So I could do an Eastern Trade Fair. That'll get me $2. It'll get James 1. That could be okay. Because if I get $2, that'll give me 3, which means bing, bing, bing. I could buy that. But James has 3. And doing a trade fair and buying that are going to knock this down to within swinging range of him.
Mm-hmm.
If I do a Western trade fair, I won't. I'll only collect 1 because it's going to run out of money before it gets to here. Before it gets to here, it's going to run out of money. Jeez Louise, this is a nightmare. I could aim for a conspiracy. Ooh, hold on. Hold the horses. Hoo-ah. That could benefit me.
Conspiracy in the Papal States?
Conspiracy in the East, I was thinking. Because I don't have money for that. I don't have money for this.
I didn't see that card.
Because this won't tip the Papal States. But this will tip, I don't know, Byzantium.
Mm-hmm.
And that would take Byzantium from you, which would take some Islamic prestige. There's no Islamic prestige on Byzantium, but it would take something, I'm sure. It would do something.
It might be. It might do something.
All right. So if I do that,
it flips the Empire card if you
were the one to own it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a way you can flip your own. I mean, I could attack Hungary. I think I might just attack Byzantium, because if I attack Byzantium with that, but I need more money anyway. I'm in a tough spot.
Yeah, you can pay, because you have to pay 1 coin for the knight, for the Hungarian knight, so it's actually not that bad.
What could I do here? So I could siege. That's actually, you know what? That's actually maybe an unexpected, but I think maybe smart move. So I have in my tableau, I have these cards. What I'm considering is if I do actions here, I could do this will get me $1, and I can actually siege in Hungary. Now, I placed the knight that's currently in Hungary, but if I attack it, it's going to make Islam not the dominant religion anymore, because it will now have equal units on the map with, if you look over here, look, it's upside down, but if I kill this thing in Hungary, there's no units in this theocracy, there's no units in this theocracy, there's 1 Islamic unit here. It will now tie the 1 Islamic unit here in Venice, which means Islam is not the dominant religion, which means James would not be winning right now because that wouldn't be a valid victory condition anymore. Which other one were you up on? I think that was it. You were threatening.
I had more concessions briefly. But...
Yeah. Okay. So I think that is what I'm going to do. We are going to go ahead and do tableau ops first. So I'm doing, like I said, I'm going to do commerce with the Zionist state. I'll take $1 off of here. And then I'm going to do siege and kill the little horsey in Buda. And Hungary is now empty. Then I will not campaign because I don't have anything in Hungary to campaign with anymore. So those are going to be my two ops for the one action. And then my second one, I think I might go ahead and play the Mary Rose. I'm really tempted to play this. Doesn't let me repress pawns, but that's fine. I wouldn't do that anyway. Or there's the HRE one. Because then I could tax concessions there. And then I would drop the Corsair. No, my second op is actually going to be selling, I think. I think I might sell the Mary Rose for $2. I'm sure I will come to regret that, but I need money, I think, to defend some stuff. So I'm going to sell the Mary Rose as an action. I'll set it there, and I get 2 florins for my turtles. And that's my turn. James, go ahead.
Great. All right, let's look at this board state.
Deep contemplation.
Deep contemplation.
Oh, my phone is shut off also. So we're going to have to figure out a different solution for this kill cam.
It just died.
Yeah, it
I wonder if
overheated.
the case is...
Maybe that could
And
be
also, we should look at the settings, because maybe if it's a lower setting, it won't be so...
choppy.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not even choppy, just like work so hard.
That too, yeah. The fact that it's running all the time when it's on is maybe an issue too.
People loved it, though.
No, I like it too. Yeah, your phone
We
turned off
all
due to heat.
like it.
It says right here.
Okay, I'm going to do actually going to do a Western trade fair.
Okay.
So I'm going to plop that on. Take it right off. We start in Byzantium.
Yep.
I'm going to place Islamic Knight.
Trebizond.
And
And then you collect one here,
Mm-hmm.
and then that ends the trade fair.
That's right.
Yep. Once the trade fair card
That's right.
runs out of money, the second it runs out of money, the
Well,
fair
I
ends.
still will collect this other one.
So James was hoping to get another unit back onto Hungary, but because this guy is greedy and took all the cash,
Not opposed to it.
never makes it. Okay, so that was one action.
One action.
This is gone, gone, gone. Something I do. So I was skeptical about the board.
So this was I did a
Western. You're right. So that should have 2 on it, right?
Yeah.
1. You placed 1.
That's right.
So the Western one is the one that's gone. Something I was skeptical about with Pax Renaissance 2nd edition was the inclusion of a board. And I still am on the fence about liking it, but I do appreciate that it has the starting setup for like the card positions printed on the map, which means there's less stuff that like moves around as you're placing things and moving things about. It's a little more static. You can I'm happy that I undid this though. In this deck of cards that it has, it does include the starting card sides as well. So you don't have to use this board. The board's optional. And one downside of the board is the game, it comes with a much larger box. Like, it comes with a full-size box now. This is obviously empty, but it's got a full-size box, whereas kind of a fun thing about the PAX games, the first 3 anyway, are that they came in these like tiny little boxes. I keep doing this. They came in this tiny little box, and so it was a very compact game with a ton of like gameplay potential. Now it's just in a regular size box. PAX Vikings also in a regular size box. Maybe a minor complaint, but still something I sort of miss. Small boxes.
Okay, I'm going to take the Eastern Tableau Ops action.
Okay.
I'm going to Inquisit this guy back, my bishop back onto the Byzantium, the Safavids card.
Okay.
I'm going to use Commerce to tax, or to Commerce, I guess tax is a different action, this coin. And then with the Byzantium card, I'm going to pay this knight 1 florin to campaign
Okay.
against Hungary.
Phone unmuted.
So Hungary has no defenders.
Hungary got nothing.
Hungary's got nothing.
So you can campaign against it. You could not do a religious war against
Yeah.
it, but you can campaign against it.
And I am. So I win.
Yes, you succeed.
I succeed.
You don't win the game, but
I
you
know.
succeed in
I
an
never
attack.
claimed to win the game here. And then I take this king as a vassal.
Yep, so it goes underneath.
So it goes underneath.
Like just not necessarily stacked underneath, but just vertically, underneath. Sorry, we don't have the kill cam. I'm trying to pull it back up here.
I can go dig up an old phone if you want to try it.
No, we can do it this way.
As part of being the victor here,
Do you know if you can see this, Mike?
Yeah.
as part of being the
Do you
victor,
wanna
I
go
get
ahead
to
and-
place all the repressed tokens.
Trying to go ahead and show that.
Yeah. So I get to place all the repressed tokens from the Byzantium card. Let's see. Is it all repressed tokens from the attacker card or the defender card?
What are you trying to do?
Campaign says all repressed tokens and bonus concessions for Victor Playson.
Campaign, all repressed tokens. So, yeah, when you win, you may unrepress those tokens.
But from the defender?
Yeah.
The defender? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Basically, you attack that location, and then you say, you're all free.
You're all free.
It's also any number of them.
Right.
Now, I know I had none on there, but if I had, like, your pawn
so
and
I have
a
this
knight...
Byzantium one.
You just have, yeah.
That's not useful. Okay.
Oh, great. Take my one king and then say he's not useful.
Yeah, he's not useful. He's a garbage king. He's a garbage king, and he belongs in a garbage
Also,
king.
we talked about this a little before. We can use these little cardboard shields to
That's
know
right.
that you have these places. So if you want to put yours there, I can take my phone back too.
Here's your phone. I control.
You control all the kings that are open right now. So
Yeah.
you get James is placing a token here. He's placing one there, and he's going to place one there. So it's just something the game includes to show when you have control of things. If you have multiple players, you can use this to easily see who has what.
And I get to place another concession, which I'll do right here.
Now I'm going to go ahead and close this webcam while it's not in use. That's actually maybe that'll be the way.
Well, we can talk about it later, but that adds a whole step for me every time.
Oh, does it really?
I have to reconnect to it if you stop it. It's really annoying. But we can talk about it later.
Okay, we'll talk. Well, Mike, we'll talk about it later.
You just put it under a nice cooling fan and just plug it in so it doesn't drain your batteries.
Right.
It's a whole thing now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
A cooler.
this is a
maybe?
test. This is remember, guys. This is all a test.
And let's see. I could campaign again with the Ottomans.
I hope people are enjoying this, though. I hope people are having as much fun doing this.
They are saying such. So.
As we are doing it. Because I'm Mike. I hope you're having a good time in your little closet over there.
It's a lot more work than I remember. Maybe I'm just out of practice.
You gotta practice running.
It's a lot more like paying attention to things,
yeah.
and also maybe because the kill cam is like a different interface, which is I have to switch back and forth. Anyway, not complaining.
Doing a lot of work over there, Mike Fernandez.
Yeah, I'm underappreciated.
Yeah, not paying you.
We'll talk about that later too.
Campaigning with the Ottomans is not super useful.
Also,
because
here we're considering before too. You can to remind yourself of cards
that's
you've used.
right. I've used the commerce card.
So ladies and gentlemen, the kill cam may be done for this stream, but next time we will have it up and running and it will be looking great.
Yeah, so I could campaign with the Ottomans, but since knights are the ones that you are using to attack, I don't actually have the knights to win a fight in the Ottoman Empire here.
Right.
So
Right.
I will not campaign again, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, so your turn is over.
My turn is over.
No cards purchased for a little while now.
Yep.
I know. I see you're saving up money. So once again, Islam is the dominant religion. And
Florentine wool.
these French pirates lost to time. It's Florentine wool. So what do I need to do? What do I need to do to flip the script here? I got rid of the voyage prestige I had. I got rid of because I wanted some cash to respond to what James was going to do. I could try to. This guy crusades in the west, so I could crusade. Hungary's not the west, I guess.
Nope.
But I could crusade. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe here in Aragon. And flip that, which would then tie up the Islam thing. But you, of course, have 3 king cards now.
That's true.
Which means you also will qualify
I'm
for the Imperial.
Currently threatening 2 victory conditions.
Correct. Threatening 2 victory conditions, and I have basically nothing going on my table. I still have the handsome and the Zionist state. And that is
handsome.
He's a very handsome man.
He is
Most
a very
handsome
handsome
man in all of Europe.
If only there was a handsome win condition.
Could there be?
We could add one.
Hand me a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Mike, can you grab a Sharpie?
No, that's not part of
If
it.
you have the handsome.
Okay. Jeez Louise. This is a great card too. I love this card.
Get that card. No one's stopping.
Yeah, I guess you have. Okay, so at this point, you do have the money for that comet. So me trying to keep that comet in the corner isn't necessarily going to benefit me that much.
Yeah, nobody keeps comet in the corner.
Because you can just buy it anyway.
Right.
You're talking about the comet, the head's up again. I don't know if you want to point to it again.
I'm talking about this comet here.
Yeah, but the head is in the corner.
So this comet is flying by, and James Marshall Applewhite Major is going to try to catch it in his teeth, which is maybe, I don't know.
A little bit more. Yeah.
Chewing on it.
It's like stuck to his ear.
Okay, it's stuck to his ear then. So I was trying to not put it in a spot where Jimmy could buy it, but he can buy it now. If I buy the East card and target Hungary, it would give me it back, and it would place that unit there, but that doesn't benefit. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Give me a concession there, but the concession part doesn't really matter right now. I can't afford... I mean, I could also buy the comet card. I could do a trade fair, buy the comet, and then just flip over something else to defend. Because James, you qualify for everything except the globalization at this point. You qualify for Imperial, you qualify for Holy, and he's not Renaissance. So,
yeah.
So you qualify for 2, not 3. I think I have to do that. I have to buy the comet. It's going to cost me all my money and my whole turn, but otherwise I lose.
When the comet comes out, you'll be bummed out.
Oh, I'm going to be mad about that. I have to. Okay, I'm doing a trade fair. I'm doing an Eastern trade fair. It's going to put a coin on there. I'm going to collect it right away, and the trade fair never gets started. This goes away.
Is that how that works?
Yep. Then, you know what? No, back up. That's silly. For 1 coin, that's silly. I can just take Tableau Ops. I'm going to take Tableau Ops.
Yeah, right.
No, there's not. There's no money there.
Yeah.
I have to do that. Okay, fine. Get rid of this card. All right. So I want money so I can buy the comet, and that way I can flip over a victory condition that James is not currently threatening, which gives me more time to figure out something to do. If I do a trade fair action, it puts a coin on the trade fair, but then because I collect it immediately, the card is empty, the trade fair never actually gets started. Okay? Still kills the card, which means the comet's going to get cheaper, but it gives me money. What I thought of doing instead is if I do Tableau Ops, I've got this, what is this again? Zionist State, which has commerce. That gives me $1. And then I could also do something else maybe. However, that $1, that florin, has to come from a card in the Eastern market. There is no money in the Eastern market right now, though, so that commerce doesn't actually do anything for me. So unfortunately, I have to kill a card. And like Jimmy, like you said, as I'm putting cards down, there's the odds another comet could come out.
Yeah.
So okay. Anyway, I needed the $1. Then I'm gonna spend $5 buying a comet. I feel like a real fool for doing this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll purchase this comet card. Sorry, Marshall Applewhite, the comet's gone, and I'm going to flip over. Let's do globalization. I know I'm going to regret that, but I'm thinking globalization because you have 1 more concession than me. The victory, by the way, the globalization victory, is you have more navigation prestige than your opponents, and you have 2 more concessions than they do. 2 or more concessions than they do. Jimmy, right now you've got 3 concessions. I have 2, so I can maybe at least even that out a little bit. Neither of us, I think, have Voyage. I had a card with navigation prestige, and I sold it. Gem anti-hostage.
What does flipping it over do? It just means that...
It activates it.
Okay.
We could not claim these before.
So now you can take the victory action.
Now you can take the action that is claim victory.
But that one's one that Jimmy can't do right now.
Because he doesn't satisfy.
Because I don't.
He satisfies these 2.
Right. So we're going to need another comet card in order to...
Yep. There are 4 comet cards. There are 4 comet
or
cards.
Or I can go for that one.
Or he can shift because he can pick up concessions here. There's Voyage, Prestige. There was one right there. There's one right next to it.
Yep.
So Jimmy could certainly, it would take him a few actions to do it, but he could certainly start to do it.
Got it.
I'm actually gonna.
I'm in a very bad spot.
Yeah.
I will say, I do not see myself coming back from this, but I'm not going to give up. Don't give up and don't surrender. Right? That's what. Who said that? If you give up, then that's like surrendering. So Buzz Lightyear said that.
George W. Bush, I think.
Which now watch this drive.
All right, I'm gonna buy this card, the alum card that'll let me put more concessions on the board.
Okay. Again, ladies and gentlemen at home, I would give you a kill cam shot of that. Unfortunately, again, my phone was not enjoying that running all the time. Switching it on and off is difficult for my man in the booth over there, Mike. So
And then I'm gonna buy the
we're
Franco
retiring
Ottoman
it
Navy
for today,
as well.
but it'll be back.
You can turn it on and off. It just is going to take me a second if you want to do it.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Maybe as long as I think we're narrating what we're doing. Again, guys, this is all a test. This is all a test. There's no tornado. Stop crouching under the stairs in the basement. This is a test of your local weather systems.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Now, nothing new, no new stuff. Wow, Jen got all the way down there, huh?
Yep.
So what did you do? What did you do, Jimmy?
I bought 2 cards. I bought a card that'll let me put more concessions out, and a card that'll let me get navigation prestige.
Nice.
Which,
essentially, what I
if
said.
I was able to
you
play
can
both of them next turn, I could. Which I can't. It'll take me a couple turns to do this, but
even if you play them next turn, yeah.
Right.
One more turn to
this
win.
is things that'll help me with that globalization victory.
The global elites got you.
That's right.
Okay, I think I know what I need to do. I know what needs to be done by me. Unfortunately, I don't know that I can do it this turn because I don't have any money. But I can start to do it. So, I am going to take Tableau Ops, Eastern Tableau Ops. My Eastern cards are Zionist State and The Handsome. The Handsome is, I don't think, going to do anything. Because he can siege and he can do the Inquisitor. Maybe I'll do the Inquisitor. I think I will do the Inquisitor, actually, on him. So I'm doing those apps. I'm gonna Inquisitor. I'm gonna move. So an interesting thing in this game with the pieces on the board, other than the player's little pawns that get placed as concessions, all the other pieces are not owned by anyone, and everyone can influence them in some way. So James earlier played the Safavids, which placed this bishop that you can maybe see in the overhead map right now. He placed this bishop. I, however, have an ability that moves Islamic bishops. And so even though it's on his tableau, I can move it. And so I'm going to move it from here, and I'm going to put it over on... you have $2. I'm actually going to put it onto, I think, there. Because that'll prevent you from using commerce. If you're like, I need an extra $1 for something, it'll stop you from doing that. You have so many campaign actions. I was thinking of blocking a campaign, potentially. But I don't know that I see you campaigning with those guys. Because who do you have? You have Ottoman, you have Hungary, and you have Byzantium. None of them really have much of an army. So I don't know where they'd go. So we'll just do that. Then on the Zionist state, I'm going to do commerce, and I will take it off of here. So I have my $1. You know what? No. I'm going to take it off of here. Then I'm going to go ahead and spend my second action, buying a card, spending $1, put it onto there to buy this card. Because I need money. And that's it. So I bought the card that I was talking about earlier, the Jizya tax revolt that allows me to do a couple cool things. And we'll see if they pan out next turn. Ooh, the Black Army comes out. It's a good card.
Why's it got to be black?
Can you have multiple concessions in the same space? The same, like of your
The same
color?
border? No.
Not even of your color?
No, there's one concession per border. Now, you could put one like here, next
Yeah.
to the same card, but not in the same bordering spot.
You know, Scott, I wonder if using the lower thirds, instead of as lower thirds, but as like whose turn it is, could be interesting.
Sure, could do something like that.
I don't know if that's useful, and people on the stream can say, but I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Might be interesting to be able to denote whose turn it is at any given time.
Sure. For the people watching, is it clear whose turn it is? I know there's only 2 people going here, so maybe it's easy to keep track of.
Right.
But has it been easy to see whose turn it is? Out of curiosity, Mike, right now, are you sitting on Jimmy or are you sitting on the board?
I'm on you because you were explaining that.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go back to Jimmy.
Okay, good.
Because he's thinking.
That's smart.
And then if he thinks too long,
yeah,
I go to the board.
And keep it active. Keep it.
That's right.
At least a little bit.
Keep it interesting.
Keep it a little interesting.
Sometimes if it's
could we tighten up that transition a little bit?
Oh yeah. Here we go. It's tight.
Good.
I like the light you put on the plant behind Jimmy over there.
I know. I wanted to make sure I saw the plant.
It looks really nice, actually. It's like really well lit. I hope people are appreciating all the work we put in.
Oh, it's so much work. honestly, Mike, you did put in a lot of work in this, and I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
It looks good. I think it looks good. I'm hoping that the people watching it looks good and it sounds good.
I wish you had the kill cam up still to show my homemade softbox.
I know. I wish.
I made out of cardboard.
I guess you know what? Okay, I'm gonna bring it up. We're gonna do a brief tour while Jimmy's thinking.
All right.
Feel free, and take your turn whenever you want, Jimmy. We can always do a tour afterwards if you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm thinking here.
Go. Take your time. Take your time.
Let me know when you're up.
All right, kill cam's up.
All right.
So here's the board as it sits right now.
The kill cam.
So a little behind the scenes right now. So here's one of our cameras, kind of pointing over there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got overhead. We've got that light bouncing off the nice white ceiling.
A little bit of fill.
Here's a microphone that's shooting at James over here.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little mic up there.
James mic.
Here's our overhead camera.
There it is. That's the main one.
Here's my microphone right here. Here's the softbox Mike was talking about, beautifully put together with nice
little cardboard.
Nice cardboard, yeah.
Beautiful.
It's kind of lighting up part of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what the kill cam was mounted to for a little bit. Now I'm holding it.
We got that pink light on Jimmy.
Oh, we've got a little hair light on James up there.
Hair light for Jimmy.
Get that right up there. Gives him a little pink accent on his hair.
And then the booth.
And then we've got our man Mike in the closet, stuffed in a closet back here.
I'm just working in the closet. I wish I could close it so that you guys just couldn't see me.
I like it.
Here, you want to take this? Give a little show of what you're looking at. You guys are getting the executive treatment here.
So then we've got all the cameras here. This is our 4-up. Yep, there it is. This is our laptop. This is where all the cutting happens.
Yep.
And then we've got some audio stuff going on here, and this is the guy that makes it all happen. This ATEM that Scott bought.
Old Black Magic.
Started it all.
Yep.
And then I'm just chilling on the mic, and my name's Mike. So
Mike on the mic,
and I'm literally in a closet.
Literally in a closet, yeah.
As you can see.
All right. I'm gonna play.
Anyway, back to Pax Renaissance.
Yes. Back to the game.
I'm going to play Franco-Ottoman Navy.
Franco-Ottoman Navy, all right.
Lets me put I'm not sure which color. Navy this is. Let's put it on the board. So that's a Catholic one?
That's Catholic.
Okay.
A Catholic Navy.
If you still have the kill cam up, you can.
I do not. I turned it off. Yeah, my phone's not enjoying it, so we're gonna have to. We'll have to figure out a solution for that.
Yeah.
It's okay. So that was dropped right here.
Mm-hmm. And it does a Novgorod trade shift.
So that's from here.
We'll go from here.
We'll shift to Aragon, which will repress this.
Should have placed that in Timbuktu. But that's okay. I'm going to take a Eastern Trade Fair action now.
I hate you. I hate you that you do this to me.
Yeah, that's right. You'll get a coin.
Well, it's not. I don't care, James. I don't care about the money.
All right, I'll take one. I'll put a Reformist Knight in the HRE, or a Rook rather. Catholic in France.
Okay.
Catholic in Bordeaux.
I'll take my buck.
You get a buck.
So whether or not James recognizes that he has thwarted some of my planning here, I feel like he might, or he's just doing it for the cash and the filling out the spots in the land. By doing this Eastern Trade Fair, you are cycling cards down, and you're going to essentially kill the last card in the market. So whatever's in that one florin spot is going to become the face down trade fair card at once the trade fair turn finishes, once the player's turn finishes.
I'm getting a buck from that as well.
And then I should get it out here.
Yep.
Right. So, unfortunately for me, a pathway to victory that I saw involved this boy right here, Gem Anti-Hostage. Again, kill cam's down right now, but the reason I wanted him is because he's in the Ottoman Empire, and he has the powerful Behead ability, okay? And what I was intending on doing was beheading Jimmy's Ottoman king, because that would then make it so he doesn't qualify anymore for one of these victories. In fact, it would actually make it so he doesn't qualify for two of the victories anymore, because I would have gotten rid of some of his Islamic prestige, and I would have gotten rid of one of his kings. And so it would have evened stuff out. I couldn't afford him last turn. I needed money. Unfortunately, James either saw that or incidentally threw that card out of the window. So now I need to, again, consider a pathway to victory here.
Well, it's your turn.
I like this. It says, it said, on Scott's turn, he says, I think I will. And on James' turn, Scott talks about the kill cam. So there's a good distinction on whose turns it is.
Yeah. The kill cam has stolen my heart.
Yeah. It's a good cam. We like it.
Peasant revolt in the Ottomans. That, well...
You would take it from...
No, because it's got to kill, like, a bunch of stuff there.
Oh, yeah. It defends...
It defends with, like, everything.
Yeah. Knights and rooks in card's location.
Yeah, so it'd be 5
and you would use your...
my dudes.
Concessions and pirates and
so
repressed pawns, which is like nothing.
It'd be 2 versus 5.
Yeah.
Because I would flip one of your pawns to mine, and then it is certainly not worth it. That guy's voyage prestige. What is that? Your voyage prestige counts as concessions in globalization. Well, that could help.
It's your
patron.
Yeah, patron.
Patron prestige, which I don't have any. Yeah, some of those icons are just too small. They're too small and indistinct.
I completely agree with that.
Let's. If I pick up... I mean, I could pick up that Ottoman card and not do a peasant revolt. Or I could maybe flip focus to the east. Or, sorry, the west.
Yeah, the west is just doing its thing, man.
The west is just
living
hanging
life.
out. Just living life.
We've had this card on the board, actually, since the
Yeah,
game
like we've
started.
done like
very little things there.
like no Western stuff. The thing is, I started doing Eastern stuff, then you started doing Eastern stuff.
Yeah, I started the game, man. I started doing Eastern stuff.
Okay, all right. Look, we can talk detail however much you want, but it's going to lead to the point of you are threatening in the East, and to respond to that, because I don't see an option for me to threaten in the West, I need to be like, I need to be stopping you from doing stuff in the East. And right now, you have one more concession than me, so you need to get another one down, and then you have a globalization victory. I don't remember what card you have in your hand, so I was talking about the kill cam, I admit it. If I can pick up that guy, though, that will give me, unfortunately, maybe it's an only option. Yeah, let's that would snake that. And that would repress that. So if I played this, I could take Hungary from you. And then it would also place a concession. Let's do that. Let's do that. A conspiracy only has knights and rooks. So I'm going to play the Jizya Tax Revolt, which is played in the East, so any of these Eastern cards. I'm going to target Hungary, and it places a Reformist Knight. So the Reformist Knight is going to go down there, and I succeed in conspiring against Hungary. So give me the Hungary card.
There you go.
I'll take that. And I will be placing my rook here. So I'll press it, and it will cost me a florin. So I've switched the potential globalization victory a little bit. It's one action. And then I am going to... I think then I will purchase a card from the market. And I'm going to purchase for 3 hefty florins. Bing, bing, bing. This guy right here. Sani Saman Madras, which is going to give me some voyage prestige next turn, hopefully. And we slide these down.
Great.
The Eastern deck is almost empty.
It is almost
There
empty.
are 2 cards remaining in there. Once the Eastern deck is empty, then we start to draw from the Western deck. James, it is your turn.
Where are we at in the game, you think, percentage-wise?
Oh my gosh, probably like 75% through. We're getting real close to the end because
Yeah, we gotta be.
I think it is going to be my downfall when that next comic comes out, in all honesty. Jimmy has a bunch of money. I feel like he's holding on to it in an effort to react to that comic card coming out. If I were him, I would also probably be trying to force that comic card out quickly because he's winning right now in the Holy Victory.
How do you force it?
By cycling cards. through the
Cycling
market.
that.
Yeah, so doing a trade fair, we'll cycle a card. Buying a card, we'll cycle one. And it's a 50-50 shot that the next one that comes out is the Comet. I think Islam is still dominant. 1, 2 versus, still versus 1. So Islam is still dominant.
Yep, and it's what? It's
You just need more of
bishops,
that prestige.
more tokens.
Yeah, more bishops, more tokens than all the others.
Both others combined. So
then there's only one other theocracy.
Yep.
So it's just
but
that
we've got like a Reformation out and stuff like that.
We do.
So.
We do have a Reformation out, but it needs to succeed. And I guess it could succeed in Hungary. Well, actually, it can't. Holy wars have to have heretics.
That's right.
So there would need to be an Islamic dude in Hungary for the Reformation to even potentially flip it. And interesting, too, in the second edition is every location has every theocracy now. Whereas before, it was either medieval or one theocracy. Now every place can have every theocracy.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I actually don't know if that is exactly true. Because there are cards for it, but I don't know if there are cards in the game that would like flip something to a theocracy that it couldn't have before. Maybe they have these for like a future expansion or something. I don't know.
I'm going to buy this Bosnian and Serbian silver card.
Okay. You know, play it straight away.
And I'm going to play it straight away. And I'm going to pay a florin to China to... it's a peasant revolt.
You can still play the token without doing the one shot.
You can still play the token without doing the one shot.
Yep.
That's the important part here.
Correct. You're pressing that fella to the Ottomans.
Ottomans. And I'll place my own. And I threw a florin in China.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's one action. 2 actions, right? That was both.
Yep, that was buy and
play.
play.
Okay, let's see. Is it going to be a Comet? I don't have the money to buy it this time. And even if I did, I don't know if it would...
No.
No, so the last one is the Comet.
The last one is the Comet.
Which I guess helps me. It gives me a chance to potentially fight back here. Jeez. I think I'm going to have to play this card. 1, 2... This won't actually place anything for me though. You have 1 voyage, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play this card I just bought. Sani Saman Madras. He doesn't really do a lot in terms of putting new units on the board. He gives me a navigation prestige. Also, I apologize, I'm using voyage and navigation interchangeably. And he also has the special ability, my patron prestige, which I have none of right now, counts as voyage prestige. Essentially, counts as concessions in a globalization victory. So now I also want to get patron prestige, which there is some available. I just can't afford it, which is the story of my life. Let's do trade fair. Or I can just do actions down here. Yeah, I guess let's do let's do actions. We're going to do actions down here. So I'm going to do commerce, take a buck from the east. I'm going to do siege in the east, which is actually pretty strong. I can siege any unit on the map here, not concessions, unfortunately. I will go ahead and siege this in Trebizond. And no campaign. I could do an Inquisitor move. I will do an Inquisitor move to here, I think. What's the Ottoman tax? You can't tax the Ottoman Empire right now. Yeah, I'll do... What do you have? Siege,
Corsair.
And Corsair. I'm going to go there. I don't want you to move that Corsair to kill my dude.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, that's my turn. James, go ahead.
All right.
Very much just fighting a defensive war here.
I am going to take the tableau ops action here. You know what? I'm going to guess a trade fair won't help me that much, but
nothing is going to get that comment out this turn,
yeah.
but it'll come out at the end of the turn, if and you want it to. I don't know that I can stop it. There might, if I had to predict, I'd say there are 2 turns left. Not 2 complete turns. I'm thinking, I guess 3. Jimmy's going to have his turn, I'm going to have mine, and then I think Jimmy's going to win on his turn. That is my prediction right now.
Okay, I'm going to
But I guess it'll depend on what you end up doing.
first move this Inquisitor. No, it's not in Byzantium anymore. Or it's just the Islamic bishop.
Yeah, it's just any Islamic bishop.
We'll move over here. And then I will move my Corsair.
Okay, so moving that Catholic Corsair.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Okay.
How do they move?
Yeah, they just move adjacent, just like that.
Okay.
They have to stay in the C zones,
That's
but
right.
yeah.
Then I'm going to campaign with the Ottomans. I'm going to pay 2 florins to campaign in Hungary.
Okay.
So I will go Smasho here.
You don't actually move them.
No, you don't actually move them.
Yeah. You get your concession back as well.
I
You
get the
may
concession
free it.
back.
And it will just go adjacent to Hungary.
Yep. And I will.
Repressing this guy.
Repressing that guy. It's paying.
Pay another $1.
And use commerce to grab this.
You have 1 voyage right now, right?
Yeah,
Or-
one voyage. Yep.
Okay.
You know what? I won't grab that. I'll grab this one.
Okay.
And then.
So your 1 action so far has been ops.
Mm-hmm. I will. Do a trade fair. I'll take this guy. Oh, and then you'll get that other one, which I don't want.
Yes, I will get the other one.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to cycle the deck, right?
All right, and then the trade fair ends right
Yeah.
there. So you need to put units down on those 2 spots. 1 in the HRE, 1 in France.
We love the Reformation. And these guys love Catholicism.
All right. So go ahead, cycle this through. Out the last comet comes. Astrology of Nostradamus.
Great.
Okay. You don't have the money to buy it right now. But That's okay. I'm going to spend 2. This feels so lost right now. Not in terms of like how to play the game, but in terms of how I can come back ahead. Well, actually, maybe that one's going to be more beneficial. Because this means you won't be able to do the dang Imperial win, which you currently qualify for as well. But then I'm just playing defense the whole time, and that's not going to lead me anywhere. I need to do something that's going to be decisive. There's no heretics here, unfortunately. Yeah, let's buy and play this one. I'm buying Capeller Milk Soup, and I'm playing it. It's going to give me a knight in the HRE, which I'm not going to place. And it also makes it so declaring Imperial victory costs 2 actions for anyone.
Did you say his name was Milk Toast?
It's Milk Soup or Milch Soup.
Milk Soup.
MILCHSUPPE.
I like that.
The old milk soup. Milky
James,
soup
is your turn.
All right.
That romantic realism came out. Can you afford that comic card this turn?
Well, probably.
Oh man, I feel like I'm so behind in 8-ball here now. I saw it coming before, and I just didn't really know exactly what I should do about it. I had some ideas, but you definitely picked up the cards I needed, or killed the cards I needed.
What is James' path to victory now?
Right now, as far as I can see, he currently qualifies for 1. He almost qualifies for 2 more. He qualifies for Imperial victory, which is have 2 more king cards than the opponent. He has 3 king cards I have none. If he can get 1 more navigation prestige, he will qualify for globalization, which is currently active. And if he can put a unit in Hungary or Byzantium that is Islamic, he will qualify for the Holy Victory. And so the path to victory for him right now is getting some money and buying that comic card, I think, to flip over the Imperial victory. Even though it's going to cost him 2 actions, he'll be able to maybe do that next turn.
All right.
Essentially, I am not doing a lot that helps myself win, but I'm slowing Jimmy down until I can figure out something to do to make myself win.
I'm going to take a Western trade fair action.
Okay. So you get 1 coin.
1 coin.
We get Lubeck.
Yep.
No, not Lubeck.
Western.
Western.
Yep.
Okay. So Trebizond or Kaffa.
Go with Kaffa here.
Okay, then you collect that 1 coin, and that's the end of it. So now Jimmy qualifies for the Holy Victory. Again, just needs to activate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the hard part. The fact that it costs an action to claim victory is kind of one of the cruxes of this game.
And I am going to buy the Comet.
Okay. Marshall Applewhite eats. And what are you activating?
Let's see here. I'm going to do the Imperial victory.
Yeah, probably smart.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to cost you 2 actions to do, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get 2 kings.
James,
net 2.
Can you feed the comet to Marshall Applewhite? He's like straight ahead of you.
Here?
No, go that way. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Like a lot. That way. Towards James. And then back towards you. And then up.
No.
It's not worth it. It's too stupid. I love it.
I guess this will also get discarded. For
Next time, too, what we need is 2 images.
No, I did a Western.
What do you mean?
Like, we need his mouth to be... I guess no, because we can't put it, like, behind the video stream. Yeah.
I'll just make I'll make a gif of him going like this.
Feed it up into him.
These start filling in this way?
Yeah, they start filling in that. Though this needs to actually fill in first.
Oh, that's right.
But then, yes, the western ones will start filling in the eastern.
William Caxton and the Venetian Navy.
The Venetian Navy does not give any prestige.
There's a few fleet things that have been out, like the Red Sea Fleet also does not give prestige.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anything I can do to stop James from that Imperial victory? The thing I have to do is make him lose one of those cards or gain 2 of them myself. I do not see that happening. I don't have any cards in my hand. I don't have any kings, so I can't campaign against something. As far as stuff available out here, so he's got Hungary, Byzantium, and the Ottomans. Hungary is very open. Hungary is super open right now. If I can target that Hungary with something, it can happen. Well, would you look at this? The Black Army places units. It has something that targets Hungary, but there's nothing in Hungary that the Reformation would target.
You could place units there, but that doesn't.
But that doesn't take it, because the Reformation is a holy war, and holy wars require they kill heretics. There's no heretics here.
There's a peasant revolt in the Ottoman, but you can't win it.
I can't win it. There's a peasant revolt in Mamluk. I cannot win that either.
Own it either. So
it doesn't. Well, yeah, it doesn't. You don't own it, I guess. So, right. I either need to get 2 from outside the game or take one of yours. I have 2 coins to my name right now, so I have to buy a card and play a card in order to do that. The Crusade over here is in the west, which doesn't help me, and also it only places a bishop. I think I might be behind an 8-ball completely. 8-ball's run over me at this point.
I think you might be right.
Because I don't think I can stop that victory. So let's go ahead and just do a Western trade fair. I will go ahead and give you some cash. I'll take this. I'll give you this one.
Thank you.
You can enjoy that. I'm hoping that it'll put me in your good graces when you rule the world. And then this goes away. I will then go ahead and do a sell card. I'm going to sell my handsome boy to the highest bidder.
No, not the handsome man.
I sold my handsome boy for 2 florins, a measly 2 florins. And then they'll go back to Jimmy's turn. We'll flip all these just for posterity, see if another comet comes out for Marshall Applewhite. I can't remember his name. Do you guys remember at all Marshall Applewhite's cult name?
How are you flipping those over?
I don't know.
You're just so mad.
I'm just so mad. I'm flipping cards.
Ooh, your hand size is unlimited. That's a good.
It wasn't Heaven's Gate?
Yeah, that was his cult, but he had a cult name.
Like a street name?
He had a street name.
Yeah.
Doe? It might have been Doe. I think it was Doe.
That sounds dumb.
I think he was Doe and his wife was...
Doe? How do you spell it? D-O-E?
I think it's D-O.
Like deer? Okay.
I think it's D-O. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
I am going to take the victory action.
James is going to cost you 2 actions.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I will spend both of my actions to claim the Imperial victory. I have 2 more king cards, not republics, than each opponent. So I have.
Let's pull up the kill cam for one last time, just to show this and show my pathetic position versus James's. All right, Mike, it's up whenever you want to switch to it.
Give me a second. All right.
Here's James's powerful Eastern tableau.
So I have the Byzantium king, the Basilius of Trebizond, the Sultan Mehmed II, the Conqueror, and I have Matthias Corvinus, king of Hungary.
And show us that Imperial victory, just so we can see
Imperial victory
right here
is you have 2+ more king cards than each opponent. Well, Scott has no king cards. None.
We don't need to show that.
Nothing.
It's not important.
And I have 3.
Looks like
3 is more than 0. It's 2 plus more than 0. None of these are republics. I don't really know how you get republics besides the vote action.
Any one-shot that would...
Any one-shot.
Anything that causes a regime change except campaigns. You do that against your own thing, flips it over.
Okay.
So
but it's against your own.
If you did the peasant revolt against something you owned and it succeeded, it would flip it. So here's, I guess, if we're sticking on the kill cam for a sec, here is my tableau. If everyone wants to see my beautiful tableau, I have one card in the west. This was a very Eastern heavy game. I got 3
it
cards
really
in
was.
these.
my west tableau has nothing.
I got some coins on me, but they're not benefiting me at all.
I would suggest you point the kill cam at the true person who got killed, yourself. Now that's a kill cam. Dead. So dead.
Done for. Marshall Applewhite. Marshall Applewhite, eat my brains.
Amazing.
All right.
Here's your phone.
Thank you. Well, James, you've won again. I feel like you've won most times we've played this game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just killing the kill cam over here. The app on for this kill cam is a little funny, but I think it's pretty neat. I'll fix it in a sec. All right. Well, that is a painful game of PAX Renaissance 2nd Edition. I felt decent at first when I felt good when I played the handsome and took a king card. It was all downhill after that. I was able to slow Jimmy's roll a little while for the game, but for the most part, he was in control, unquestionably. And I think it's a good 2-player game. It can be hard to topple someone that's really in the lead. It is possible, certainly. I didn't play super well. I was worried about the kill cam, and it showed. But that's all right. Hey, if you guys enjoyed watching us goof around in this stream, to figure all this out as we go along, and play a game of PAX Renaissance 2nd Edition, which I do think is cool. I do think it's a cool game. I still like PAX Renaissance a lot. The iconography does cause some issues, I think, in this. But I mean, it wasn't too bad. I never didn't buy a card or didn't play a card because I wasn't sure, like, I didn't realize it was this. I didn't realize this icon was there. It took some close looking at times.
How did you feel, James?
Yeah, what did you think about 2nd Edition?
I'm a huge fan of this game. I think it's probably the best PAX game. Like you said earlier, it is difficult to compare them. Like, we recently played PAX Viking, and it's wildly different than all the other ones. I think this is a really good, tight game. I think a lot of these cards are a little cleaner than the first edition, but the prestige icons in particular
it's the worst.
are really rough to sort of look at and say, like, what is this? It's a woman with some scales. That must be some sort of law prestige.
Right.
But
oh gosh, you even look look at on this card. Here's the woman with the scales in this, but then it references that in this. It's like half the
smaller.
size. It's so tiny.
It's
rough. This game was designed largely in Tabletop Simulator because it was play tested during COVID, and it shows.
You said that was true about PAX Viking as well.
Yeah,
and that's another game. I felt like it was largely fine sitting on this end of the table, but
you're right next to the market. But
even then, some of these symbols took a couple of glances.
That is really one of my biggest pet peeves, is that, like, when you can't read the things from across the table.
Oh yeah,
we've been having that same issue with Oath lately, where it's like,
because Oath is like a really long board, and so if you're on the long side and the cards you're looking at are on the far side, it
really wants like a bench to play on.
Everyone's
up on the same bench.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Actually, that would actually be pretty good.
I think this one wants a bench sort of play as well.
Lazy Susan.
That's actually something I do prefer to the original. Is there isn't a board, so you can put these. You can build this market over here or whatever.
You want.
And
hand
it's
it around.
And it's a little bit easier. But yeah, I think this is a real nice upgrade. I think this is a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still a good game. Still a very good game.
I think, I'm not intimately familiar with the differences between the first and second, or like what's in the expansions and what isn't. I've only played the game with the expansion. This is a really solid version of it. If I were to pick it up, this is the one I would get. Yeah,
I mean, like I said before, if you don't have the first edition, just go buy this one. Don't feel like you need to go on eBay and track down the first edition plus the expansions and whatever else. If you have the first edition, especially if you have the first edition with the expansions, this is probably not worth tracking down. You'll be missing like a dozen cards out of the like multiple hundred that exist in this game. Not a huge deal. You also, I mentioned before, you don't need the board. You can play without it. And you can set it up just like the first edition, because it includes
everything on the board is just
it's just a place to put it.
Just a little placeholder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these cards. I mean, we have some on the board that just.
But like this, like these two are the same, right? Like this, the printed England. They also have a card that's the exact same thing. So if you want, you could condense the play size and just or not even condense, just put it wherever you want.
Like the original doesn't have a board, and it is the boxes.
Which is a big reason. A big reason why this edition has a board or a big box is because the board has to fit in here. But yeah, that's it. That's Pax Renaissance. Thanks for people that tuned in. Thanks for people that watch later on. If you enjoyed the show and you want to see us keep doing stuff, you can go to phasingplayer.com/donate. A couple of options there on how you can send money to us. If you don't want to donate, that's fine. You're not obligated to. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Try to set up some semi-regular streams. I know we were doing weekly in the past. Mm-hmm. Ideally, we get back to that sort of thing.
It's the dream.
So that's the dream. And now we have like a semi-permanent setup here. It's easy to just kind of come in and plop stuff down.
Did we ever get to weekly?
Oh yeah, before? Oh yeah.
Every other week.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Was it every other week?
I feel like it was every other week.
I was trying to do weekly when I was doing it by myself. That's which is maybe what I'm remembering. But you're right.
I think it was every other week just because it was like.
We gotta call Ben.
We gotta call Ben.
All right.
Well, you guys take care, and I don't have a hat to throw, so I will just see you next time.